So, hey y'all, it's Everbee Spooky Girl. How y'all doing? And first, I want to say this video is for entertainment purposes. It's not based on fact as of yet. It's just my opinions. And I just wanted to give my opinions and comments on some things that I was seeing on a lot of the social media sites about this Chicago stuff with this mayor, Tiffany Henyard. So again, these are just my opinions based on several videos that's already circulating on different social media sites, on Google, just all over. Just my opinions, just based on some of the stuff that I'm seeing. None of this stuff is factual because she hasn't actually been prosecuted and all this stuff yet. So these are just opinions. So this is what I think about it. I think that, and these are just hypothetical opinions, not, trying to be disrespectful or, towards anybody. Again, just opinions based on some of the stuff that I'm seeing. So I feel like it's not her that's actually doing it, if that makes sense. Like, it's somebody behind her. Like, somebody is got their hand in her back, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, those puppets in the old school days that, people would have on their knee, ventriloquists and stuff. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then they be talking and make it look like the puppet or whatever, the doll is talking. And they would have their hand in the back. That's what it looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's like she was a trustee first. And somebody else had said on their channel or podcast, somebody else had spoke about how she was a trustee first. And so they feel like she watched everything. You know what I'm saying? She watched everything and she learned it and everything. It's a whole lot of comments out here, opinions, hypotheticals. Everybody is just guessing at this point because the feds is doing their thing. So, we have to be careful and make sure that, it's just all hypothetical and, nothing is factual as of yet. I think that she was put in that office on purpose. I think that corruption was already going on, and she was placed there on purpose. And I agree with the other person that said she studied and she watched. Now, she seen how it was being done. Like, this just didn't come out the air. This was planned for her to get in that position. And I know one of the positions one of the positions was actually like the drop of a dime. They had to do something really quick. But that was kind of like strategic too. Even though it seemed like it was real quick and somebody had to get in there, that could have been planned too. Like, just wait it out. And, they ain't got nobody else. That could have been planned too. Even though it seemed like a, spur of the moment type thing. One of those positions she got. I think that was the Thornton. I'm not sure which one it was. But one of them was kind of, it was kind of like saying, well, they didn't have no choice. They had to choose somebody. They was down to the last hour and all this stuff. I think that could have still been set up and planned too. But moving on, It was already corruption going on. She wasn't studying and watching that for 7 or 8 years for nothing. She was seeing something. She was seeing potential. So it was already some corruption going on before she got in that office. And she saw that. And that, to me, that's how I feel it went. And she had help getting in those seats, both of those seats. She had help. And you got the other podcast, which I feel the work that they do is very good. So I would call them journalism. But I think it's Hannibal. It's Hannibal. It's Nate the lawyer. Of course, Jedediah. O'Shea, he's always got good stuff. A lot of them is new to me. It's a public works or a public something. His is public something. And yeah. So it's a lot of them, like, you know, doing little stories and commentary on it and everything. But yeah, she was placed there. And she studied it, you know, and it was all planned. Now I'm gonna go on to say that, you know, Keith Freeman is her administrator, and you know, the guy up under her in both positions, you know, with Dalton and Thornton. And, you know, if they are partners in crime, because, you know, another news was reporting that he's got the IT background, you know, when they had when he got indicted and stuff. News outlets was reporting that he's got the IT background. So, you know, he can do stuff with paperwork and different little stuff like that. So that's probably his position. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the one that's doing the paperwork stuff. That's him. He is the one that's changing stuff, changing the figures, the numbers. He's doing stuff with the paperwork, what you would call allegedly. He's allegedly probably the one that's doing the fraud, the forgery, the paperwork. That's his job. That's his position. She's just figuring out where they're gonna take it from, and he's the one that's making the paperwork look right, or doing the discrepancies in the paperwork. That's him, because they already saying that when the news reported already that and this ain't alleged, news reported that he got indicted. You know, he's been indicted, so he's already under investigation for giving himself more money than he was supposed to. So obviously some paperwork had to go into that. Something had to be changed to change his salary. And, the alleged accusations is he did that himself. Something else with some W-2s with him, too. That he's indicted. He hasn't been to trial. But what the news is reporting is what I'm commenting on. What the news is reporting. Because you got a lot of bloggers, YouTube channels that's doing a lot of commentary and stuff on it. Then you got the news outlets that's reporting stuff too. So it's coming from everywhere. But it has been reported by news outlets, his stuff, when he first got indicted, that, some of his W-2s or tax stuff that he admitted or submitted to the IRS were not correct, and everything like that. So did he, forge those, redo those, or, all of that stuff. So, what I'm saying is that he's got that background to do stuff with paperwork. So basically, I have a criminal justice degree. It's from years ago. And I actually went to a college. This wasn't online. I went in person. Walked the stage, graduated and everything. And you got two types, they taught us a lot of stuff during that, you know what I'm saying? White collar crimes can be, like he's more like a white collar criminal, what you call they're the type of criminals that don't really want to get dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the what you call blue collar. They'll go out and rob the bank or snatch the purse and things like that. You get what I'm saying? Um, or break in the store and do different stuff. A white collar criminal is the ones that they do stuff with paper, you know, computer. They'll do the checks and things like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna actually snatch your purse. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna forge checks and do stuff like that. Extortion, embezzlement, laundering, money laundering and stuff, that kind of stuff. It's criminal, but it's white collar. You know what I'm saying? They're not the ones that's gonna run out and snatch the purses and stuff. Kicking the doors and stuff. They sit behind the scenes. When you get that stolen money and everything, they are the ones that can, do the right paperwork and transactions. You know what I'm saying? VI, to digital to, move the money around and clean it and stuff. That's what they do. You can get what I'm saying? Like, you can go steal the money, but, if it's marked and everything, you know what I'm saying? This money got to be put somewhere. It's got to be cleaned. It's got to be washed and different little stuff like that. So that's what it seemed like he's, allegedly doing a lot of the paperwork, Keith Freeman. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's the one that's doing all of that, right? It's a team effort that they're doing together, allegedly. And then you have, it's hard to tell how many of them is in on it, but it's not just her and Keith. All of this is alleged, so I don't have to keep saying it. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot more involved. It ain't just her, Keith Holmes, and the Browns, the Stan Brown. Like, it's more involved. There's no way she's able to keep doing that and was able to keep doing this for a year or so, you know what I'm saying, without other people being involved. Like, something had to be looking suspicious to other people. You get what I'm saying? Them two just can't just be them two or them three or four. You get what I'm saying? Like, those papers go through so many hands. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make sense that it's just them two. This is why a lot of people is being quiet, because so it's a lot more people that got a hand in it. Now, one of the trustees, I think it was the Belcher, the one with the picture. Her picture was, she keep her picture right there with her. At one of those meetings, they was talking about a check or some checks. And allegedly the checks is, if I heard this right, I might have to go back and listen to it again, but it was something about some checks is sitting in somebody's drawer, locked in a desk drawer somewhere. So basically, some checks were issued to some vendors. Vendors, reached out and said they didn't get paid. They never received those checks. The checks were issued. So, I guess they were important vendors, maybe utilities and things, stuff that need to be paid. So the board was told by Tiffany that the checks were sitting in a desk somewhere. They were locked in somebody's desk that's on leave or something. And so the board reissued those checks, because those were checks that they had went over, those important checks. They served the residents. Those checks need to be, so they reissued those checks. But then, the trustee was still asking, you know what I'm saying, when can they see those checks and get those checks? Now, I'm guessing, they want to cancel the checks. Or, they probably already did, but again, they were complaining that they couldn't get in the system to see the stuff, to actually cancel the checks, like, digitally. So, I mean, if they just laying in a drawer, ain't nobody doing nothing with the checks. You get what I'm saying? Oh, whenever they get in there, they can cancel them. But that trustee is asking for those checks. I don't know if y'all heard that. And, because the checks already been reissued. So those ones in the drawer is like thousands of dollars of checks, different amounts of checks. So where's those checks at? You get what I'm saying? They locked in somebody's desk drawer. How did that even happen for over a year? So that's kind of suspicious too, and that's one of the trustees that brought that up. So those checks been already reissued. I don't think that the first checks, the first checks that they're talking about, I don't think those checks were never locked in nobody's drawer. Either allegedly Tiffany kept those checks and they were labeled as lost or whatever, misplaced, and had them reissued. But those checks already been spent or reissued. They have been reissued, or either it's what I believe is some vendors is in on it and some are not. I do believe that. I don't believe all vendors is in on it, but I do believe some of these contractors are in on this. Just, saying they didn't get paid and stuff. So I don't know how they're explaining these missing checks. You know what I'm saying? That's, and that can easily be traced too through the feds. I guess they financial division, they got, feds got different areas. So they can, even if a vendor is saying he didn't get a check, you know what I'm saying? Like the feds can still, a vendor, a merchant, a contractor, the feds can still go into get subpoenas to go into their financial records and see deposits that they're making. That's matching up to the same time checks were being issued. You get what I'm saying? Like that can be tracked. If you saying you didn't get a check, you know what I'm saying? Because Tiffany allegedly has to take a cut off of everything. So if a vendor, was supposed to be getting $5,000 for a job that they done, you get what I'm saying? And the trustees issues a check, let's say on the 3rd of March or something. I'm just making up a date. You get what I'm saying? Then they issued that check. Tiffany gonna take her cut. So you're not gonna see a deposit in that vendor's account for $5,000 because Tiffany had to take something off of that. Basically, the vendor ended up saying he didn't get it at all. But you will see a deposit around that time when the trustees issued that $5,000 check. It's not going to be a $5,000 deposit, though. It might be a little lower, might be half of $5,000, because everybody had to get their cut off of it. Who all was involved had to get their cut off of it. So, the feds will be able to see that around the same time, and if that's a pattern, you get what I'm saying? Because you could make a deposit on the same day I do. When I go to the bank, there's a lot of people, at the bank, at the same time I am. So it's not weird that people make deposits at the same time on the same day. A lot of people make them on Fridays, on their paydays, just different little stuff like that. But it's, the feds would be looking for a pattern. You get what I'm saying? Like a pattern, like when these checks is being issued, which vendors or merchants is making deposits at that same time, around that same time, the next day, 2 days later. It ain't got to be the same day. And it's not going to be the same amount as the checks that was actually issued, but you'll be able to see where a cut came off of it. So that's probably how they doing it, because if the trustees issue a check for $5,000, and the vendor say he ain't got it, he'd be stupid to deposit $5,000. You get what I'm saying? Like somebody got to get a cut off of this. You know what I'm saying? The vendor not gonna get all of that. But it would be interesting and important to watch certain vendors, certain contractors, merchants, watch their deposits. How they moving financially. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. It may even be. They wait a few days, maybe even a week, think they being smart. The feds know all about that. Money laundering, embezzlement, all that kind of stuff. They hip to that. You know what I'm saying? If you give me some stolen money, I'm not going to deposit the next day. I may even wait 2 weeks. Maybe I'll deposit in my daughter's account. My 19-year-old daughter's account or something. You get what I'm saying? The feds know all about that. And if it really gets to that, it has been situations where it was a lot of money involved. They have pulled records of family members and found out where people was had money, in their brother's account or their sister's account and stuff. They have done that. Their wife, ex-wives, you know what I'm saying? They have done that before. So it's not like it can't be done. That being said, Like I said, I believe some vendors and stuff is involved, but and contractors, but not all of them. And with her, that it's very sad and embarrassing. Um, and I'm not even going. To me, it has nothing to do with color. Um, and I was watching. I'm gonna go off off to the side a little bit. I was watching Al Sharpton argue with that congressman, Byron something I think it is. You know, he's a Republican, and they were talking about the Jim Crow and all this stuff, and he was trying to, the Congress was trying to make a point about how the government keeping black families dependent on them and stuff like that, and it's not a good thing. And the first thing Al Sharpton, one of the first things that came out of his mouth was, um, he wanted to point out that this congressman, this black congressman, is married to somebody that's not black. You know what I'm saying? His wife is, and the reason why I'm adding this in here is because to me it doesn't have anything to do with color. You understand? If you going by, you know what I'm saying, like, love who you want to love. It doesn't have nothing to do with color, because that really don't tell nothing anyway, because it's so much mixed. Everybody is mixed going on, and you can't just tell sometime by just looking at people what race they are anyway. So that's just ridiculous to me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter about that congressman who he married. He's speaking like the truth, things that he understands and making sense, and they want to shut him up. But I just thought it makes it, it shows people for what they are. You know what I'm saying? When you look, when they do stuff like that, it's virtue signaling. You know what I'm saying? He want us, that anybody that's watching, to think this congressman is bad. Don't listen to him because he black and didn't marry a black woman. That's ridiculous. He's speaking flat facts. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to wake up, black folks. He's trying to wake them up. You get what I'm saying? This is not always about race and everything. It's not always about that. Now, so I just wanted to make that point. Even back with Tiffany, but I just thought that was a low blow for Al Sharpton. That was supposed to turn us against this man. This man is speaking facts. He trying to tell us how the government been doing us wrong. And he's a government worker. Basically, he's a Republican. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of them don't have the balls to stand up and do that. You get what I'm saying? I don't care who black men marry. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I care about people being kind to one another and treating each other right. That's what I care about. And that's what God see. He don't see color, contrary to the belief. He see two people caring about each other, loving each other, looking after one another, not cheating on each other, taking care of each other and supporting each other. That's what he see. So I don't see that. I don't get upset about that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm colored. I'm a black woman. I don't care who black men marry. And I just think that with this Chicago mayor, with Tiffany, this Illinois mayor, a lot of people may have saw color. I don't think, I really don't think. I think she was a plant, allegedly. That's what I think. And these are just my opinions. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a whole lot of elections and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of them is staged. And I was watching one channel that was talking about black people need to get up, get out and vote. This is what happened when you don't vote and this and that. No. You know what I'm saying? That's half right. Because if you don't have good options and all the candidates that, your options, they're all trash, you just ain't going to waste your time. You're not going to say, well, just let me go pick somebody. You know what I'm saying? One of the two evils. You don't do that. This is why a lot of black people don't vote, because our options are not good. You know, we don't have good candidates. And, you know, people get mad talking about black people don't vote. They do vote. They just don't want to go vote for trash. If you got a certain amount of candidates and you know, it's something about all of them, you know what I'm saying, that is suspect and questionable, you just ain't comfortable with it, you just not going to do it. So, you know, when people say that, you know, black people do vote. You know what I'm saying? We just don't want to vote for trash. We just rather keep our vote. And that's our right. But you know, when I hear that, you get what I'm saying? It's just like we've been getting trash for so long. You know, they trying to reverse it and say it's our fault for not voting. You know, nobody is going to vote for trash. 2 trashes, 3 trashes, 4 trashes. Nobody's doing that. So, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. But that's just my take on it. I think she was put there. She was a plant. And just like with a lot of these elections and stuff, this political stuff, like a lot of this stuff, I don't think, my thoughts on it, my opinions, I don't think this stuff is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, who gonna be in office is who gonna be in office. That's pretty much what it is. You know what I'm saying? If they want a certain person there, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna find some way to make that happen. So people breaking their neck and going out to vote, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like you got a good enough candidate, go do it. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I understand why some people just don't do it. If all the options are trash, what do you expect? But it's a sad thing what she doing. I wanted to add some more stuff to it. Let me keep going. I think that, and these are just my opinions, that the Kamal, like her dude and stuff, I think he's behind it. I think he's behind it too. He's the one telling her what to do. Because, you know, that's her dude. And see, with women are greedy. You know, we be greedy for money and stuff like that, but we'll get a certain amount. You know, a lot of us will get a certain amount. And we'll go sit down somewhere. At the rate, allegedly, that she's stealing and, you know, taking money and stuff like that, it's like she needs it for somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is not, it doesn't fit just, you know, her needs. It's like she's doing it for somebody else. So, you know, I feel, because she had another boyfriend at the beginning. The dude that they said was a SA or SO, something, you know, with sex, and was going in people's house, inspecting them or something like that. And, you know, they complained about that and got him off. You know, she gave him that job out of jail. And they found out something, that Lavelle or Lel, something like that. That dude she was going with. You could see him in some of her videos standing behind her. Okay. And then she got with Kamal. What I think, this is just my opinion. This is my opinions, you know. But this is what I think. I think that they had a little thing going, you know, her and some more other people in there had a little thing going, you know, where allegedly they stealing and stuff. They doing stuff. They scamming. They skimming. You know what I'm saying? And all kinds of stuff. And I think when she got with this dude, which he might even sought her out, you know. I don't know how they met and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think he start redirecting stuff. You get what I'm saying? In other words, allegedly, these are my opinions, like Kamal start telling her to do other stuff. You get what I'm saying? Or, you know, he needed more money. He got all these businesses. Now, they showing these on news and, you know, people is reporting on this. There's a lot of it is matter of public record. You know, these businesses he's got that's all not doing well or closed or, you know, shut down or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, where's, you know what I'm saying? Where's he getting all this money from to open all these businesses and stuff? Because first it was just a car wash when you first hearing about this story. But then you found out, somebody pulled some records or something. He had 3 or 4 other businesses, a restaurant, a clothing store. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that like she has some stuff going on, it's other people involved in it. Allegedly, you get what I'm saying? But her and Keith allegedly is, was the one doing it right there, between those two, Thornton and they doing it. But then when she got with this dude, you get what I'm saying? He started asking for, he wanted stuff. And so she had to start, allegedly, she had to start stealing more. You get what I'm saying? Now, whatever she was doing, she was already doing. It wasn't really making a big fuss. Where, I mean, her attitude was always, concerning. But, you know what I'm saying? It's only the last what? I mean, you get what I'm saying? When they really start just seeing stuff. You get what I'm saying? And it kind of feels like maybe, I don't really know when her and Kamal met and got together. It, but it kind of seemed like at some point she started stealing more, allegedly. You get what I'm saying? Like she started stealing more than probably the agreed upon amount or what she was being able to. I think personally all politicians, at some point are thieves. You know what I'm saying? Can't just trust government like that. But some few of them in there might be good apples, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it is what it is. But I think that, it's somebody, had her doing more than she should have been doing. And that's what really got her caught. You get what I'm saying? Because this person started needing more, so she started taking more, allegedly. That's what it looks like to me. And I think the feds is looking for somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Like she's going down for this, but they know it's not her actually behind this. You get what I'm saying? Like she some of the money that she was taking, allegedly that she was taking, was enough to have her comfortable. Her daughter, her mom, a sister and a brother if she got it. But the amount allegedly that she was stealing, you get what I'm saying? It speaks that somebody, it was for somebody else. They wanted to do some things. And yeah, so that's what I think about that. Like it's somebody like the feds done already figured out, you know what I'm saying? And this is why they went after Keith first, because you know what I'm saying? He's her right-hand man. He works right up under her in both jobs. You get what I'm saying? So this means that, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to flip him first. His indictment was the very first one. Then the RAPE stuff came up about Holmes. It's still alleged now, he ain't been convicted yet or whatever. But even with that, you get what I'm saying? People was talking about, who gonna flip first. Holmes can't make no deal. He only deals that Holmes can make is gonna be the only deals that Holmes can make is gonna be lesser time. You get what I'm saying? He's gotta do time. He's gotta do some time. If that RAP thing goes, they gonna be looking for time for that. You get what I'm saying? Only thing he could do is kind of get some lesser time, but he can't walk away scot-free like Keith Freeman. It's a lot of paperwork. They could give Keith Freeman 20 years probation and a bunch of fines and stuff, if they want to. With an RAP case, it's kind of different. That's kind of different. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think personally, he's got to get him some time. You know what I'm saying? And, they could probably shorten his sentence. But, yeah, that's what I think about that. I don't think he can get off scot-free with a bunch of, no. Holmes is looking at something totally different whenever his case come up. People think it's not going to come up. because it's a different state. No, cops work together all the time. Investigators work together all the time across state lines. Even when you have serial killers that commit crimes in different states and stuff, those investigators have to work together. Sometimes they don't, but when it's, big cases and stuff like that, they have to pull together. A lot of those serial killers and stuff, like, investigators have to start talking to each other to compare notes, to compare evidence and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes offenders will commit crimes in, different states. So just because it was in Las Vegas and the stuff was filed in Illinois, the crime took place physically in Vegas, but still, don't think that those investigators and everybody involved in those cases the prosecutors will not come together to compare notes and stuff like that. Now it's up to judge if judge will allow stuff from previous crimes to be admitted in certain trials. Sometimes judges do, sometimes they don't. It's up to the judge. But they can communicate with each other and still get this going on. So, maybe, they already communicated with Las Vegas investigators to kind of, hold back on that a little bit because they was looking at something bigger. Holmes is connected with something bigger that they dealing with. And then they got permission from the victim in that RAP case. They had to get permission from her to try to put, can you put stuff on hold just for a minute or delay stuff. So that's what I think. And this is Ever B, Spooky Girl. And thank you guys for listening.